This episode of None Dare Call It Ordinary is dedicated to Tibby, my mother-in-law Kim's fluffy white cat, who passed away only a few hours ago. We ask that you hold him in the light as he begins his new journey and all the wonderful places it will take him. If you want to learn more about Tibby, please visit Kim's Instagram page at Cinco2103. Now please enjoy the episode. Welcome to None Dare Call It Ordinary, the podcast that digs into the unusual, unorthodox, and downright unsettling beliefs found at the depths of the internet and the heights of paranoia. I'm your host, Dylan, and with me is the corpulescent and contradictory Brent.
Thank you. We're going to go through the alphabet, I'm assuming, with this one. So it's like B, C.
Yeah, that's what, we've been doing a lot of B's.
The X is going to be very
I like
confusing.
the alliteration.
Yeah. I like it.
The X-ray and exasperating, Brent. Yes. I'm going to have to write those down. Only one of those is an X word. You're also definitely not a corpulent person.
Right.
That's definitely,
yeah.
That's part of the that's why I threw contradictory in there. Because you are not that and that at the same time.
Good.
It's weird. I don't know how that works.
Well, happy Mother's Day to you, Dylan.
Oh yeah, it is Mother's to me.
Actually, not to you. You're not a mother yet.
Yeah, I am not.
I have something to tell you.
With the way these millennials are rewriting the gender norms, who knows what could happen?
Oh boy.
I remember back in the day where men were men and men weren't mothers.
What was that movie with the pregnant man? That was fun.
Oh, with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, what was that called? But I'm gonna have to look for that when I'm watching.
Mr. Mom?
Mr. Mom? That sounds about right.
Yeah, it could be. That's, it's kind of on the nose, title-wise.
I'm gonna watch that just in celebration of Mother's Day.
Man, Arnold Schwarzenegger did a lot of those weird, because there was also Twins.
Yeah, Twins with Danny DeVito.
Yeah, where he's like the superior genetic. It's really about eugenics. That's really what that movie's about. Danny DeVito should have been cold.
Anyway, what were we talking about? So what are we talking about today?
So the first thing I'm going to talk about is that I found out recently that my sister-in-law, Bun, she just got her last MRI, and she is tumor-free! Woo!
That's awesome.
It is so good.
So good news. Such good news.
It's been a rough, 6 months or so, but looks like, everything's gone. Because she got the MRI on Monday, and they said, we don't want to be, I'm just one doctor, and we have a whole board of doctors who look at these kind of things, but it looks pretty good. And then I think it was Thursday or Friday, can't remember now, where it was official that, basically it's out of there.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, they're still going to do a little bit of chemo just to be on the safe side of things.
Yeah.
It's going to be lightweight. Good. I think it's like 5 days every month.
Oh, good. Yeah, so not too bad.
Yeah. So that has been a relief, and it shows the power of the medical establishment and big pharma.
Yep.
They're getting things done, getting people well.
Yep.
She didn't need one enema.
Yep.
No sharks were harmed.
No.
In the process of her healing. So it's been good,
That's really good.
Just chemo, radiation, and surgery. That's all she needed. But we're talking about, we've been talking about mothers. We've been talking about a sister-in-law. Today we're talking about another lady. And I think the first lady of our podcast, if I'm right.
I was going to ask you.
We are talking about Hulda Clark.
Aha.
An entire episode about this one lady. That is how big this is.
This is the first lady, right? So she's like breaking the glass ceiling. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. It's a good analogy because her activities were as helpful as showering her victims in a sea of broken glass.
Jeez, yeah.
I mean, that's so. I think that's a perfect analogy. But we were looking at all the different quacks and cranks we've covered, and we have people who are hypocrites. We have people who they break the law and they get into legal trouble. We have strange devices. We have people going to Mexico. We have weird cures. And Hulda Clark has all of it and above. And so we felt we have to do our final episode on Cancer Quackery. We've got to end with Hulda Clark.
Yep.
All right. So who is this lady and what kind of education are we talking about? Her full name, Hulda Clark, I believe is how you pronounce it. 1928 to 2009, so a good long life of harming people. That's always pleasant.
That's great.
She claimed to cure many diseases, not just cancer, including AIDS.
Of course.
And this was based on her work as a, quote, independent research scientist. She was so independent, in fact, that none of this work was conducted at a university or a recognized private laboratory, because you can't let proper scientific practice get in the way of groundbreaking independent research.
Yeah, plus it's so unoriginal to go the traditional medicine route. She was edgy, like a real hipster, you know? Come on.
Yeah, she was a millennial before her time.
Yeah, she was a visionary.
She was an ironic scientist, like, whatever. I felt inspired reading about Clark because I think we can officially say, you and I, we're independent researchers.
Yes.
Take that, academic establishment. We don't need you telling us the truth about, that's not actually how cancer works.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't actually know how to read scientific studies. Whatever. We don't need them. We have microphones and we have the internet. And that's all we need. All right, so what kind of education does Clark have? So Clark not only has a BA and an MA from the accredited University of Saskatchewan, yes, an accredited university. She even has a PhD in zoology from another accredited university, the University of Minnesota. Her dissertation was titled, A Study of the Ion Balance of Crayfish Muscle, Evidence for 2 Compartments of Cellular Potassium.
Totally relevant for cancer in humans.
Yeah, it's just 1-to-1.
Yeah, it is.
Crayfish muscles, liver flukes. I'm spoiling a little bit. But, hey, so far so legit. She's got a legitimate PhD. That's pretty cool. I don't have one of those. But I'm a little hesitant. We should be on our toes because we've already talked about another guy with a zoology PhD who didn't do so good. So, I think we should be on the defensive here. We should be careful.
Maybe Clark actually just thinks that she lives among crayfish. Like where we see human beings, she sees crayfish.
Yeah, that could be. So it's like in the cartoons when, whenever like a cartoon is hungry, they see the other cartoon is like, like a steak or a lamb chop. Like she just sees everyone as crayfish.
Yep.
And so she has severe schizophrenia, I guess, is really the diagnosis.
Really needs
So
help.
she's not a crank. She's just really sick and needs our love and support.
Right.
At that point. But so she's got all these legitimate degrees, but I think, she recognized that all this legitimacy was going to put a dent into her future career preying on the hopes and desperations of cancer victims.
Right.
Because in order to play that game, you got to have some spice. And so she decided to get a naturopathic degree from the Clayton College of Natural Health. In case you were wondering, the Clayton College of Natural Health has never been accredited by any accrediting body ever at any time.
Jesus Christ. I have a fun fact here, actually. I attended a non-accredited school right out of high school.
Oh.
That's right. I wasted 2 full years of my prime at a Bible college.
Did you eat the Bible? Was that part of it?
Oh, eat it. Oh, of course. Yeah, we got to eat it. It's just that was the first thing we did, is blend it, eat it. Yep. I paid off the useless debt and moved on to being a minister. I did not move on. I'm not a minister. I forgot to tell you, Dylan. I have a secret thing. I'm actually a minister. Oh, man.
What a twist that would have been.
I'm leading a church. That would have been a really good thing. No, I am not a minister. I'm not even a Christian anymore. But you know what? I learned my lesson. But, don't listen to your small town youth pastor right out of high school. Just be like, hey, you know what?
You were training to be a minister?
That's like basically everybody in the Bible school is either going to be some kind of like either missionary or like pastor or youth pastor, I guess. I don't know. Sunday school teachers. They just ran it. Sunday school teachers are not trained. Let's just, get that right off the bat.
So no accountants were coming out of that school, I guess you're saying.
No. Right. Exactly. Yep. Lesson learned. Just took me 2 years.
2 years.
Total waste. But anyway, that's some fun times.
You learned. That's what matters.
Live and learn. Yeah.
So the Clayton College, they were shut down in 2010 after being sued by over 14,000 former students who won a $2.31 million settlement.
Huh. Sounds like another university.
Another.
Who is that?
That's what college was. I feel there was a name.
I don't remember it.
Of somebody.
I don't remember the name.
No, I don't. Yeah. Let's move on. So I guess these students, I guess what they say about distance education. Mm-hmm. Which, they offered correspondence classes and things like that. I guess when they say distance education, they're talking about the distance between a Clayton degree and any kind of useful knowledge or success. I think that's where the distance comes in.
Yeah.
It gets further away. Usually a degree, it should bring you closer, but no, it does the opposite. Nope. It pushes it back. Just say no to success. Say no to having knowledge.
Right.
Push it away. Get it out of there.
Come on. Get out of. Yep. I don't want to see it.
So what did Clark have to do to get this naturopathy doctorate? I imagine a lot of hard work. I was in a PhD program, a lot of work. People put a lot of blood and sweat into getting those degrees. She put in about 100 hours and $695.
Jeez. So
quite an investment.
Yeah, that's like it's like a month's electric bill and living in Las Vegas in the summer. Got it. That's
God, yeah. That's a real. Now that you put it that way, that is a serious investment. Can you imagine not having AC?
Oh my God. Yeah,
It's 117 degrees outside, and I'm reading about herbs, learning a lot. And, there's that phrase about mastery, about how it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert or become a master at something. So I guess that means she's only 1/100th a naturopath master, which is, it's kind of disappointing.
That's lame, really, truly.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's all she's got.
So what causes cancer?
Ooh, I don't know.
She'll tell you. So according to Clark, it's parasites, toxins, and pollutants.
Yeah, they cause every cancer ever.
They do, ever. So Clark said that killing these parasites and purging the body of these environmental chemicals would cure cancer as well as many other diseases. It's that simple. Doctoring isn't that hard, In one of her presentations, Clark said that every disease was caused by a combination of both parasite and pollutant. So what's the cause of cancer? PP! I just picture a scientist looking through a microscope and seeing a parasite riding a pollutant like a horse. Is that how microbiology works? I don't know.
I actually imagine it was like a Kling riding the bomb in Dr. Strangelove.
Yeah.
Just the parasite, like holding its...
Tiny little hat.
Yeah, holding its cowboy hat over its head while they, dive bombed into a liver or a pancreas.
Yeah. So the parasite is a flatworm called, and I'm going to try and say this, I don't know why, Phaseolopus busci.
That sounds right. I think
it might be right. Yeah.
Based on my intuition about how we should pronounce that word, I'm going to say you pronounced it correctly.
It's spelled Phaseolopsis and then space Buski, but she misspelled it constantly as Faciolopsis and then Buskii.
Constantly misspelled
Throw another I in there. Constantly. Every time. So she missed her calling. She should have been the first president who uses Twitter too much.
Oh, yeah. There was that president who tweeted incorrect spellings and such. When you mention that, I think, she should have, I think I would have been good at her marketing department. I think, she could have said, the key to treating cancer is you got to grab it by the booski. I mean, booski with one eye, excuse me. That's really what she's saying. So it's coming together. It's coming together.
Exactly.
I could see how they're related.
So there was one small problem with this whole parasite thing. The flatworm isn't native to the United States or Europe, but mostly only in parts of China, Vietnam, India, and other East Asian countries. So mostly only found in rural areas where people are eating unboiled food with water plants, or where humans and pigs live side by side. Oh, sounds like a nice society, minus being riddled with parasitic flatworm part.
Yeah, nice society, living with pigs, eating unboiled plants. Yeah, that sounds great.
Humans living in peace.
Yeah, that is kind of nice. All right. I'll give you that. I'd love to live with a bunch of pigs.
Yeah. So, her book was titled The Cure for All Cancers. Wow, she literally wrote the book on curing cancer.
All cancers, though. Not just cancer or every other cancer, but all cancers. Get a list. All the cancers possible. She cures all of them.
So here's a passage from her book. All cancers are alike. They are all caused by a parasite, a single parasite. It is the human intestinal fluke. And if you kill this parasite, the cancer stops immediately. The tissue becomes normal again. In order to get cancer, you must have this parasite.
So does that mean that only humans get cancer? If it's caused by a human intestinal fluke, or maybe it started with humans and then we gave it to all the other animals and they're like mega pissed about it. It's like, let me get this straight. You cut down the rainforest where we live. You're putting a bunch of shit in our water, and now you're giving us cancer? Is that? Yep. God, bunch of dicks we are.
Such dicks. And on the sixth day, God created the cancer parasite. What the fuck? Why?
Well,
mix it up.
You gotta keep it fun. Mix it up, yeah. God loves mixing it up.
So the parasite typically lives in the intestine, where it might do little harm, causing only colitis. Only?
What is colitis?
I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna look.
I'm gonna do a quick colitis Googling. If we're gonna say only colitis,
let's do this real time.
Colitis is an inflammation of the colon. Colitis may be acute and self-limited or long-term. It broadly fits into the category of digestive diseases. That tells me nothing. Come on, give me the fun stuff. This woman looks real sad about it.
Okay.
There's this, if you Google colitis, like sometimes you get those like Mayo Clinic pictures where it's like the drawing of someone with the disease.
Right.
And it's like a woman with like long gray hair and she's kind of like, ugh. And then it's just a picture of her colon that you could see.
Oh, okay.
And it's got ulcerations in there.
Okay. So not good. So the joke works. It's not good.
Yeah, it's not good. If someone told me I only had colitis...
Yeah. Like, let's take out that only word.
Okay. Your joke has been officially approved by the None Dare Call It Ordinary Oversight Committee, consisting of only me.
Okay. We've got it and checked. It's mostly just an all-around bad parasite then. Got it. Okay. But if it invades a different organ, like the uterus, kidneys, or liver, it does a great deal of harm.
So I guess there's no such thing then as intestinal cancer.
Yeah.
Because it's got to go to different parts to be cancer causing. You know, I would make a joke here that there's something special about the intestine. It's made out of, cytotoxic stuff. It's made out of radiation. But, I would make that joke, but only a big pharma shill would find that funny.
Yeah.
All the Clarks and all the, the cranks and quacks of the world, they're going to see right through that humor.
That's so true.
And they're going to see it as the propaganda that it truly is.
Right. And it is. So this is, again, a situation where we need people in a tiny ship to be shrunk down and injected in the body. They would act like little diplomats and try to convince these little parasites that it doesn't want to invade the uterus or liver or kidneys, but instead take over the colon. I mean, it's a great place to inhabit. All sorts of fun little tubes, creases for nesting. Micro diplomacy, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and if micro diplomacy doesn't work, you give these flukes micro flukes of their very own. You give them a taste of their own medicine. It's like smallpox blankets, but for flukes.
Flukes all the way down. Just keep...
flukes all the way down.
If it establishes itself in the liver, it causes cancer. It only establishes itself in the liver of some people. These people have propyl alcohol in their body. All cancer patients, 100%, have both propyl alcohol and the intestinal fluke in their livers. God.
Also, propyl alcohol is rubbing alcohol.
Yeah.
Which is gross as fuck.
Yeah.
And I would not want it inside my body.
Oh, God, no.
But I imagine if you were a real severe alcoholic, you would love having this little guy up in your liver getting you drunk for free.
Yeah.
You're just filled with propyl alcohol. You don't even have to go to jail. You don't have to go to the store anymore.
Right.
And buy 6 packs. You're good to go.
Yeah.
You got a little brewery inside your belly.
Clark, I think you're connecting dots where there are none. It's just a fluke.
Just a fluke.
It had to be said at some point.
I was waiting for it.
Yep. The solvent rubbing alcohol is responsible for letting the fluke itself in the liver. Okay. In order to get cancer, you must have both the parasite and the rubbing alcohol in your body. Sure. That's why people really need to stop eating their cosmetics and cleaning products. Because that's pretty much what that is.
Yeah, that's all that's in there. I love the choice of language here. So It's responsible. It lets it establish itself. Like, it makes the propyl alcohol sound like a landlord of the liver. Like, it's like, I got to do a credit check, make sure you haven't been to jail. But otherwise, you can hang out here. That's cool with me.
That's what it would sound like, the voice. I like it.
Yeah, that's my rubbing alcohol voice. When I ever look at a bottle of rubbing alcohol, hey, let me clean your toilet.
Like, Dylan, what are you doing in there? Just like, hey, what are you doing? Just cleaning.
I'm talking to the cleaning products!
Oh, God. Clark claims that this adult liver fluke stays stuck to our intestine or liver, causing cancer, or the uterus, causing endometriosis, or thymus, causing AIDS, or kidney, causing Hodgkin's disease. So you maybe wonder, what about the pancreas, right? Well, we got you covered. So for the pancreas, you get diabetes. Yep. For the brain, you get Alzheimer's disease. Oh, sounds good. For the prostate, you get prostasis?
Yeah, it's good enough.
It's all right.
There's a lot of prizes in the fluke lottery, and I don't want any of them. This fluke is, I'm almost impressed.
Yeah.
With how much stuff this fluke can do. I can barely get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
This fluke is causing AIDS, Alzheimer's, cancer, endometriosis, Hodgkin's disease. Good Lord.
Good Lord. So as soon as there are adult flukes in the liver, fuck me. I should really... just don't care. No. Orthophosphotyrosine, a growth factor will appear. Okay. These growth factors make cells divide. Now you have cancer. Congratulations.
Good job!
Yeah, having propyl alcohol in your body allows the fluke to develop outside of the intestines, so that's fun.
Liver cancer is the real cancer. That's kind of the main... That's the big papa cancer.
That's the gist. Yeah, I'm kidding.
Liver tumors, I would imagine they're real annoying at cancer parties because, they're like, they're calling all the other cancers posers. They're lording over their real cancer status against all the other, wannabes. God, just aggravating. All right, so we know for certain what causes cancer. So how do we get rid of it? How do we get cured? Clark says you got to do 3 things. Got to kill the parasite. You got to get that rubbing alcohol out of there.
Oh, definitely.
And then you got to flush out all the metals and toxins because, what's a natural cure without, talking about metals and toxins?
Sure.
So you got to do those 3 things. So how do we do it? What does Clark say about how we do it? So first, how do we get rid of the parasite? Luckily, Clark has her own special herbal blend, which will get this fluke out of you.
That's nice.
It's a blend of black walnut hulls, wormwood, and common cloves. And she says that this combination kills over 100 parasites.
Okay.
And she adds just a touch of ornithine and arginine to improve the mixture. So the secret to curing cancer is just a really delicious Christmas spice cake. That's kind of the secret. Yeah. She really should have got together with the Iscador folks for a lovely Christmas-themed cancer party.
Yes. Yeah.
Mistletoe everywhere, throw in a little mistletoe extract into the spice cake, make everybody real happy. Maybe some shark fin appetizers.
Yes. Ooh, I like that. And who would have ever thought that the Christmas song that goes, chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, was really just ingredients to cancer cure?
Yeah, that's... Every song is a hidden message.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But I also like thinking about, this Christmas-themed cancer party we got going on. I was thinking about the Revelations episode, when the rivers and streams turned into wormwood. And,
good times.
They might have died drinking the river and streams, but they didn't die of cancer, and they got all those parasites out of there.
Seriously.
Yeah. You got to look at the silver lining of the apocalypse.
Oh, yeah. You do.
All right, so we got this anti-parasite blend, and this blend will kill the cancer-causing fluke in 5 days. And then it should get rid of all the rest of the parasites in another 2 weeks or so. So these other parasites are just way tougher. That liver fluke, it goes, just the first sight of a walnut, it just goes into hiding. That's all it takes.
Yep.
And also, we talked about all those other parasites. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but it turns out that you're probably filled with dozens of parasites. Maybe don't think about that too much. That's a lot. It grosses me out, I have to admit.
Yeah.
And that's it. 5 days after taking this herbal blend, you're cured.
All right.
It doesn't matter what stage cancer, what type, you're done. That's it. And now, you can cancel all those appointments for surgery, radiation, or chemo.
Good.
What's the point? You have a date with a spice cake from the gods.
That's some damn fine spice cake.
But, what does Clark have to say about those doctors that you originally had appointments with? We've heard a lot of negative things from a lot of these quacks. But Clark actually doesn't have, the real hardcore, evil doctor conspiracy theory going.
Mm-hmm.
She actually has something relatively nice to say. She says, remember that oncologists are kind, sensitive, compassionate people. They want the best for you. They have no way of knowing about the true cause and cure of cancer since it has not been published for them.
Oh.
Yeah, so they're not evil. They're just dumb.
They probably went to one of those dumb medical universities. Again, with this tyranny of accreditation. I've always said and clearly practiced at one point in my life that we don't need accreditation. We need accreditation freedom. That's what we need.
Yeah, freedom from legitimacy.
That's what we need in this country.
That's, freedom from.
Yes, from.
Not freedom to.
No, from.
Freedom from years of study.
Yeah.
Freedom from working in a hospital. Freedom from grades.
Yeah.
So many freedoms we don't
really
have that we
I
really
agree.
need in this country, and I think we deserve.
I couldn't agree more.
But, this might sound, the whole business about canceling surgery and radiation and chemo and all the rest, Clark isn't totally negligent. She claims that after 5 days, your cancer's gone. But she recognizes that curing cancer is one thing, while maintaining a non-cancerous lifestyle, totally different. And it's going to require a lot more work than just, having a spice cake now and then.
Right, yeah.
It turns out that the road to true cancer freedom is paved with all the fillings, crowns, and bridges you'll need to pull out of your mouth, which are fucking up your whole immune system. That's the first step.
Dude, where is William Donald Kelly, DDS, when you need him? Am I right? Eh? Oh, he's dead, right?
Yeah, he's gone.
But
he's
the great dentist.
Yeah, he must be spinning in his grave. He's like, man, I'm a dentist. I could have been doing the whole tooth thing.
Yeah.
I've got training for that. Maybe that's why he didn't do it.
Yeah, that's true.
He knew, they'll think it's legitimate, and then they won't give me their cash.
Yep, totally true.
All right, so you got to get rid of all your teeth. Step one. You also need to stick with an herbal blend regimen forever.
Oh.
Along with a high-dose treatment every 6 months or so.
God, forever. Like, Jesus, like your relatives have to keep digging you up and shove herbs in your skeleton mouth? Like,
forever.
It never stops. Yeah.
For all eternity, even after your second, third, and fourth death.
Good.
When you've been bodily resurrected in the afterlife.
Good.
Still take those herbs. Gotta still take them. Plus, you also need to treat your family, friends, and pets.
Of course.
Because your cat or dog is just chock full of flukes. And you don't want that anywhere near you.
Didn't he say, wouldn't we already establish that the flukes are only in humans? Like, what's going on here?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a human intestinal fluke, so why do these dogs and cats got them?
Huh. So you must think dogs are humans. That's what's happening.
Oh,
she thinks all other animals are human.
It's not that she thinks humans are crayfish.
Right.
It's that she thinks crayfish are human. That's the problem. Like, everything's a human.
Oh my God. So weird.
This human's a human.
Yeah, I got my pet human.
Dog
here.
is a human.
Get off my lap, human.
This lamp is a human. It's just humans everywhere. You got a lot to do now. You got to pull out all your teeth.
Yep.
You got to get rid of your cat's parasites.
That's right.
You got to pull together an herbal maintenance plan. How are you going to do all this? What are you going to do? Luckily, Clark herself at Century Nutrition Clinic, located in, you know where it is. And if you don't listen to this podcast every minute of your life, it's in Tijuana, Mexico.
It's like, seriously, at this point, like 1 out of every 2 people that live in Tijuana, Mexico has to be a quack cancer con man, right? I mean, it's just like everybody lives there. Seems like
1 out of every 2 expats in Tijuana has false beliefs about cancer and is trying to push them on you. That's kind of, it must be, I mean, I want to know how much competition there is.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about that with welfare programs and like how there's a race to the bottom.
Right.
If one state has really good like benefits for the homeless, for example, then all the homeless people move there.
Right.
They're like, oh, we don't want homeless people, so we're going to lower them.
Yeah.
And then homeless people keep moving back and forth and all the benefits get lowered.
Right.
I wonder if the same thing happens with like alternative medicine in Tijuana.
Seriously.
Where it's just a race to the bottom of legitimacy and reasonableness. Where what's causing your cancer? It's jazz. It's nylon. It's me. I'm doing it.
Yep.
If you give me $100,000, I'll never see you again.
It's your money. Get rid of your money. It's causing the cancer. Dear
God.
God.
Why hasn't that been?
I know.
That's it. That's the ultimate cancer scam.
Yep, there it is. Your money is giving your kids.
There's a parasite in the dollar bills.
Especially the $100 bills.
Oh, especially that.
Those are
chock
really
full of
infested.
parasites. Yep. So what are you going to get at Century Nutrition? A 2-week treatment, and it only costs $4,500 for 2 weeks, plus a 10% tax. But that doesn't cover everything. There's always, add-ons and things like that. So you got to cover some other things. So motel room, it would set you back about $210 a week.
Okay.
Meals, it's about $250 a week. Blood tests, $70. Diagnostic imaging, $40 to $400. Dental x-rays, $206. Individually tailored supplements, $400 to $1,500 a month. Equipment, $350. Teeth extraction, $800 each.
At first I thought that they were saying teeth extension when I saw this.
Make them bigger.
Yeah, I was like, please make these. It's like, see people buying this for $80. Like, I can see some people with those little creepy nubs of teeth. Like, I'll take this.
Oh, yeah, where it's like all gum.
Yeah, it's just like, you may need some teeth extension.
But speaking of teeth extraction,
yes,
some people get full dental extraction.
Jesus.
Like the full deal.
Let's take it
and
off.
That's the whole total package is $450.
Wow.
So a 2-week stay will cost you a grand total of around $7,000.
Oh, man.
And the last year the clinic was open, spoiler alert, was 2001. And so in 2018, that would be about $10,000 or a quarter of a Tesla. And that's just the first 2 weeks, by the way. Because you got to keep buying the herbs. You got to keep buying all the other goofy stuff that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
But that's 2 weeks. That's $10,000.
That's fucking insane. It just is. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. You could just go to the Caribbean and get bitten by scorpions.
Right. Come on. Well, now we're going to see what else you need. You need some devices. It's not just, taking out all of your teeth. There's more. So to graduate to the next level of quackology, you really must use and promote useless medical devices. Clark did just that.
So it was only useless as a medical device.
True.
I want to be clear.
That's true.
It was very useful at burning the shit out of your patients, which we're going to see soon enough.
Was really good.
It had its uses.
Yeah, that's true. So she was the brilliant inventor of the synchrometer, which could identify the toxic substances and organs inflicted with the disease. The device would make various sounds when test subjects were placed on a plate. So I just assume they made those cartoon noises like wow, wow, or wow, wow.
Those are the sounds of legitimate medical science.
Yeah, that's when you know it's like, oh, is there some like this is stay quiet. This is they're doing operations. Also, guys, don't be savage when testing your toxic test substances. Make sure to use a plate. I mean, it's just simple etiquette. It's just a little advice here. Maybe use like an ornate doily under the plate. It looks nicer, if you're going to be testing. Why not? Give it a little charm.
You can't just use your hands.
Oh yeah,
it's just gross.
That is disgusting.
Also, when it came to the sounds, I imagined like like those old timey like car horns. Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
So in reality, the synchrometer is really just a galvanometer, which measures skin resistance to a low voltage current, which passes from the galvanometer through a probe that connects to the patient's hand. So I don't need to go into this anymore. We are all very, very familiar with galvanometers, obviously, here. So we'll just move through
we're all
that.
very electrically sophisticated listeners.
Yep.
Also, this sounds like an e-meter, basically.
Scientology, yeah.
I wonder if that's going to come into play at some point. We'll have to see.
So Clark's Zapper is this is another device.
Not a good name.
Yeah, no,
not
maybe,
a good name.
Just not good. So Clark's Zapper is a low voltage device that she claims kills bacteria, viruses, parasites with this electrical energy. But while doing so, does not actually harm any human tissue.
We'll see later that this claim is, what's the word? Unsubstantiated. That's the word I was reaching for, yeah.
Yep. So Clark stated that all living organisms broadcast a characteristic range of radio frequencies. This device, she says, gives counter frequencies which kill unwanted dangerous organisms. So, I would totally tune into a radio show by parasites. On tonight's Host to Host, we discuss ancient ringworms. Did they really exist? We will also have on a guest who is a flatwormer. So I wanted to do the Coast to Coast theme song, but I can't do that. I don't know how to do it.
I read this before and I thought it was really great, but it wasn't until right now that I recognized the Coast to Coast joke.
Yes. It's like a joke with, it's got layers.
Host to Host AM. Which parasite do you think would be the best, would have the best radio program? I'm thinking the tapeworm.
Yeah.
It's hard to perform on an empty stomach, and a tapeworm never has that problem.
So, of course, neither of these devices have any actual therapeutic or diagnostic value. So,
no value diagnosing patients.
Yes.
However, users of these devices are really easily diagnosed as no good charlatans. So you can diagnose That's in an instant.
The Self-Health Resource Center, which was administered by Clark's son, Jeff, sells these worthless devices, herbal products, as well as Clark's books. Many other websites hawk this shit too. So the Self-Health Resource Center has a, quote, testing division, which offered synchrometer classes twice a week, scheduled as needed, for only $175.
God, this shit could have been a Scientology thing.
Yeah, totally.
Like, I mentioned that earlier. This is the exact model. Like, you need to pay this money to learn how to use an e-meter. It's the exact same shit.
It is, yeah. Clark's son Jeff issued certificates for Zapper devices, which are within specifications found in Dr. Clark's books. If you are shopping around for useless medical devices, you can find these for a price range from $10 for a simple model, if you just want to barely cure your cancer, to $200 to devices that will also make colloidal silver. Oh, nice. That's nice. Nice little add-on. And for $500, you can get a device that will also make you dinner. So that's nice.
Oh, I call this device a microwave.
Oh.
It works by sending pulsating rhythms of electrons through your mac and cheese, which afterwards also kills your liver flukes.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a benefit.
Liver fluke-free mac and cheese.
Yum.
That's what we're all about here at the Microwave Company.
Oh. Dr. Clark Research Association, founded by David P. Amrine in 1998, advocated for Clark's Quackery. Amrine was a Scientologist. There it is!
Fucking, I knew it! Yeah. I knew that shit was in here.
Who described himself as a freelance consultant in taxes and finance. There you go.
Freelance. Yep. He was real freelance. I I think consultant is a word. I think everybody is a consultant.
Yeah.
I just like, it's such.
Yeah. Just
like,
all,
what do
everyone's
you do?
consulting. Yeah.
I consult. Like, yeah, you and every other human being who's ever lived.
Yeah. So Cancer Quackery with a dash of Scientology finally. I love it. I was waiting for
together
this
at
marriage.
last.
Yes, they're together at last. So the membership in this association in 1999 cost $40 per year, which included a subscription to the Dr. Clark Research Association Bulletin. According to the November 1999 issue, the bulletin had a circulation of 1,500 readers. Yes, 1,500 readers, but unfortunately 0 skeptics.
Although I'm not too positive they were all reading it.
Yeah, that's probably true.
1,500 potential readers.
Yes. So Anrine also sold products of the same type Clark recommends. So in November 1999, an Australian company called Raylight Party Ltd. was stopped from advertising by the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission. It was advertising that its parasite zapper passed an electric current through a person's bloodstream, which is successful in combating the AIDS virus, hepatitis, herpes, parasites, obesity, and other serious conditions. They were forced to provide refunds to all their customers who they misled. Good. Oh, I'm sorry. You lost me at zapping electrical current through my bloodstream to cure my obesity. God.
I mean, the sad thing is, like, if I could shock myself into losing weight, yeah, I would probably do it. You know, they could have got me. This is the quackery I'm going to be susceptible to.
So on Quackwatch, they have a picture of the device we're discussing right now. So a couple was scammed by this worthless device. Yeah, purchased for $30,000 in a desperate act to cure their child after Clark promised to determine the true cause of disease and clear this up completely. The whole package purchase included a videotape, a book, 2 zappers, 2 synchrometers, 5 boxes of microscope slides, and 24 vials, though I refer to those as bowls. Aha, a little tip to that to the Revelation episode.
Like our Revelation episodes.
Interchangeably, 24 vials, which Clark incorrectly stated would treat various parts of this child's body. So, this large box is a Radio Shack kit used to make homemade synchrometer.
Man, they paid $30,000 and they had to assemble it at home?
I know.
Like IKEA furniture?
I know. Dude, it's like how 90s too. Like nowadays I get my homemade synchrometer from Amazon Prime. It's free express shipping. It's there, it's there in like a day or two. But seriously, this box is, it says science, I'm looking at it, it says Science Fair Exploring Electronics on it. It's like ordering your cancer cure and getting a mousetrap in the mail. Okay? You'll like that. What the fuck? I guess I'll put this tiny red bathtub or little yellow bucket over my tumor, swallow this small metal ball, and see if that works. Okay? And
this gave me some good nostalgia. I was wondering, did anyone ever play the game Mousetrap? I just set it up.
Yes. I never played the game.
And then knocked it over.
Right. Yeah. It's not a game. It was just setting it up. It's kind of like Domino Rally. I think it's supposed to be a game, but you just set it up and knock it down.
It's a board game, but that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And
it was maddening to try and get everything perfect. It's God damn it. You try and set up the little cage and it would fall. So anyway, most of the other items shown in the picture were purchased from the Self-Help Resource Center. The white box in the picture is labeled Zincrozap Pulse Generator for research only, not approved for use on humans. So maybe it's just like a bug zapper. I think it's only approved for bugs. So I'm speaking your language.
No. You gotta use chemicals to kill the bugs.
That's true.
Yep. But one thing is, I've been reading this and I've been, talking to this with my boss, and now we're offering a service where we spray you in. In my job, we'll spray you in the face with our bug spray. To kill all your liver flukes. Your face might melt off in the process, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, that's so true.
Serious note, we have a garlic product. Mm-hmm. It's just garlic juice. It's like an all-natural bug repellent. Huh. And I talk all the time about cooking fajitas and just using it to flavor them.
Just blasting your pan with that.
Yeah, blast a bunch of fajitas.
That's delicious. Great, yeah. In 2004, according to the New England Journal of Medicine, a 52-year-old man with a cardiac pacemaker experienced dizziness and almost fainted when using the zapper. So this man's doctor said the worthless zapper caused this man's pacemaker to malfunction and disrupt the patient's heart rhythm. But in all fairness, the device was sold with a warning about pacemakers, so he didn't read it. So if you have a pacemaker, moron. I know, right? Read it, dude. Come on. If you're going to zap yourself, please read first. So if you have a pacemaker, sorry you don't get to have your cancer cured. Bye. So, you just have to enjoy the bulletin and some herbs.
this case doesn't make sense to me. Why bother trying to cure your cancer? If you're just going to let the medical establishment turn you into some inhuman cyborg with a pacemaker.
Yeah, just settle out.
You obviously don't really care about your health.
Yeah,
so this whole case is shady.
I agree with that. Yep, it is shady.
All right, so, Clark, she's selling these devices. People are getting burned. People's pacemakers are turning off.
Yeah, taking their teeth out.
Teeth are coming out. She gets in trouble with the law. Yep. It's going to happen, inevitably. And in 1999, Clark was finally arrested in San Diego on the basis of a fugitive warrant from Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
So the warrant was from Indiana in 1993.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was that a former patient of Clark's in Indiana complained to the Indiana Attorney General. I don't think I've ever said the word Indiana more times in like 2 sentences. Indiana.
Sounds horrible. Yeah.
Hashtag Mike Pence. A health department official and a deputy attorney general decided to go undercover and visit Clark's clinic. So I smell a sequel, Outfox 2, running out the Clark.
That's great. Yeah, I love that.
I would love someone to make these posters. I would have those posters in my house.
Running out the Clark.
When they went undercover, they assumed, they were perfectly healthy and that this was just a ruse. But Clark told them that they actually had AIDS.
Oh!
And that she was going to send for a blood test for them. But I would have thought the AIDS diagnosis happens after the blood test. But I think that's just, I got a brain fluke, that's just the brain fluke talking.
Dylan, you're also not a zoologist here, so you can always diagnose diseases in crayfish before, you do it first and then you send it off for the crayfish blood test.
You're right. You're right. When you're right, you're right.
Yep.
And I'm wrong. So somehow, it wasn't clear, but somehow Clark found out from the lab that she sent for the blood test, like maybe she saw the real names of these two guys or something, but she figured out that this was a ruse.
Yeah.
These were undercover law enforcement people, and she skipped town. She fled Indiana a few days later. And so that was 1993. So 6 years later, 1999, she's arrested in San Diego and sent back to Indiana for trial. And she was convicted and never harmed another living soul. No, that's not what happened. Actually, in April of 2000, the Indiana judge dismissed the case because too much time had passed between the 1993 filing and the 1999 arrest, which just like, what? All I have to do to avoid jail time is to flee the state I committed the crime in. So if she was just hanging around Indiana and they filed in 1993 and they knew where she was, I would kind of get it.
Right.
It would be still annoying, but I would get it. But she was a fugitive. Like, it was evading justice. So I guess in Indiana, fugitive lives matter. The victims don't, just the fugitives. So, murder, arson, rape, burglary. You just skip town for a few years and going to trial magically becomes unconstitutional. So commit all your crimes in Indiana. That's really what this taught me.
Yeah, I always advocate for criming locally and organically.
Yeah, locally and organic crime. I only cause fires with naturally occurring flammable materials. Your woods. So I'm just, you've got like the flint. I've got the flint, and
exactly.
That's how I cause the fire. But Clark's late 90s legal troubles don't end here. A month after the 1999 arrest, she was sued by Esther and Jose Figueroa of New York City. So Esther was diagnosed with breast cancer and sought treatment from Clark in September of 1998. Clark had a lot of interesting ideas to relay to Miss Figueroa. First, she said she got breast cancer from dust. And this, I read this, I was like, this is the most sexist, 1950s oncological claim of all time. Sorry, Mrs. Figueroa, but if you were a better housewife, you wouldn't be so sick now, would you?
My favorite type of sexism is sexism against your own sex. That is the top level sexism.
Shelf sexism.
Top shelf.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Clark also told Figueroa that she couldn't go home to clean the dust because her blood type would cause her to develop leukemia, more like fluekemia, am I right?
Oh, hey! Yeah!
Woo, woo, woo! She also had asbestos, lead, and, quote, a lot of copper in her system.
Jesus.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Figueroa, it appears you have such and such cc's of copper in your what do you call it?
Science.
Yeah, that's the scientific method in your what do you call it?
It is.
The synchrometer, she also told her that the synchrometer detected a rabbit fluke in her breast.
Why does the image of Jessica Rabbit from Roger Rabbit?
I don't know. That was a cartoon. Mrs. Figueroa also apparently had E. coli, asbestos, and salmonella from improper food sterilization. Which, yeah, of course, you always have to sterilize all the cotton candy you find in the attic before you eat it. Duh.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Oh, yeah. Man, you better sterilize it now. Purge.
I will. After this podcast, probably.
And also, of course, Mrs. Figueroa, she had to remove plenty of evil teeth and get some fillings removed as well.
Cavity, cancer, they both start with C, so it's
alliteration.
Legit.
That's how we cure. That's the guide to cures.
That's how cancer's cured.
So that's Clark's diagnosis. So, what happened next? So all of Esther's front and molar teeth were removed.
Oh, God. Dude, can you imagine what she'd look... This is sad, but can you imagine what she'd look like if she was applying Cansema to her nose, too?
Oh, God.
No teeth, no nose. Well, you can't secure, but you look like Skeletor. That's fucked up. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, that's... sometimes
horrible.
That's the price we pay to be just as sick as we were before.
Jesus Christ. And way worse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Without
way worse.
a face.
It's similar to my, pesticide cancer cure. You won't have a face after that either. She also prescribed Mrs. Figueroa 30 dietary and herbal supplements over the course of 12 weeks. Also, that zapper device that Brent was talking about, somehow it badly burned Esther's chest. I would think the zapper, something called the zapper, would be kinder, gentler electric shock.
It's all about the settings, I think, on the zapper. I mean, if you go between 1 and 4, you get kind of a mild zap, which cures just like a fourth of your cancer. And you can scale up from there. So it's just the settings. Yeah.
Yeah, you could do it
read the
a quarter,
instructions.
4 times. Yeah, you got to read the instructions.
Yeah.
During Mrs. Figueroa's 3 months of treatment, her tumor grew from 1.5 centimeters to 4 centimeters.
Though, if Esther would have been using the Zeltron therapy, she would have known that actually this means her tumor is shrinking, not getting larger.
Yeah, that's the trick.
Yeah.
It looks the same.
That's a straight lie.
It's not.
Just lie.
Now, Mrs. Figueroa was told that she was getting better, and that tests for cancer markers were negative, and that the pain she was experiencing did not reflect persistence of her cancer. In case you were wondering, all these claims were false. So it looked like the Figueroas had a pretty good case. Clark was a total douchebag, and they got proof that she was being a douchebag. But they decided to end the suit in 2001 because it would be too hard on Esther. She wouldn't be able to kind of take the emotional toll that such a trial would inflict on her because, she still has fucking cancer. But the story doesn't end here. Jeffrey Clark, Hulda Clark's son that we talked about earlier, the operator of the Self-Health Resource Center, and a real piece of shit, decided to sue the Figueroa's attorney, Christopher Grell, for malicious prosecution and abuse of process.
Aha! Happy Mother's Day! For you, Mom, this year, I'm not getting you flowers. No, instead, I'm going to sue those that are suing you for offering them quack cancer cures. That's a nice gift.
It's a nice gift.
Yeah,
That's a
I'll
gift.
Take it. And a card, obviously.
Everyone could use free legal advice. So Grell filed a motion for dismissal, which was granted, and the Court of Appeal stated, "The evidence amply supports a reasonable belief on the part of these defendants, Grell and Associates, that the plaintiff, the Self-Health Resource Center, was part of a network of persons and entities who acted recklessly at best, luring Miss Figueroa into a bizarre, grotesque, and extremely expensive regimen of alternative cancer treatments, which has no effect other than to exhaust the Figueroa's life savings and divert Mrs. Figueroa from conventional treatments, thereby reducing her prospects for recovery and survival."
Wow.
Yep,
that's great.
That's so great. Happy Mother's Day.
So what was the response? So let's go into this. So what was the response to all of this? Well, in September of 1999, Jeffrey Clark hired Tim Bolin to help after Clark was arrested. So Bolin and his wife are part of JuryMed, which is this company whose stated purpose is to assist, quote, alternative health practitioners that are faced with criminal prosecution, doing the good work, regulatory action on various other matters which threaten their financial standings and or license to practice. So Bolin describes JuryMed as a, quote, public relations and research group.
Yeah, this assumes that these folks have a license to practice in the first place, though. I would start by helping them get one of those, and then when their licenses are rightfully revoked, then you help them avoid that.
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean, it really is some next level shit. You aren't a scam artist who scams poor sick people with cancer out of their money, but you go even deeper. You actually do the groundwork of defending those con artists by running smear campaigns against those who are trying to fight for those who have been swindled by these quackmasters.
Yeah.
Wow. That is some good stuff there.
Beautiful.
So in November of 1999, Bolin started to distribute defamatory and false statements against those who are writing about the truth regarding Clark. So always defend the despicable. That's how you earn extra brownie points in hell. I mean, in Sunday school growing up, I remember my teachers always saying that if you were doing a bunch of good deeds as a Christian, you'd, be rewarded in heaven with some crowns or jewels or some shit. But honestly, I think it works for non-Christians too. If you go to hell, maybe there's some really evil acts you do in life and it's really good. You get an extra ticket to ride on that dragon or something,
Yeah, you have to get enough punches on your pure evil card that we talked about in the last episode.
Yeah. Get more rides on the dragon, get to hang out with the beast.
10 sins, you're 11 sins free.
You get a full day with the beast. It's like
Woo!
the Instagram thing. It's like, hey, come hang out with me.
Hashtag the beast.
Good days. So anyway, in fact, Stephen Barrett, MD, which is the author of Quackwatch, where we do a lot of our research, was attacked by Bolin. And I want to go through what exactly Bolin said about Barrett. So here's what he said. So he called him arrogant. So, I mean, he is licensed MD, so, he does have the bragging rights here, I guess. I don't know. He calls him bizarre, which, I mean, I suppose if you live in...
What a weird thing to call somebody.
It's like bizarre?
Bizarre. Like what do you think of when I think of somebody who's bizarre? I think of a guy like that Vermin Supreme guy. That guy's bizarre. Totally. He's wearing a boot on his head.
Yeah.
It's not like that's bizarre.
Sure. Yeah. But I assume he didn't look. I assume Barrett doesn't look like this. Anyway, so I assume he lives in a, but we don't know. I mean, he could live in a pseudo-reality, as Dylan mentioned in our last podcast, where most of these quacks and quack defenders live. So then, maybe he is like a legit medical doctor in this strange world.
Oh, that makes sense. So yeah, he is bizarre in pseudo-reality.
It's pseudo-reality. So another word he used is close-minded. How dare he cling to the test of medical science? Disgusting. He's emotionally disturbed. Well, okay. He's, disturbed by quackery as much as we all should be, I guess. Seriously. I love that
It's not so much that these are false.
I know.
Is that they're weird. These are bizarre claims.
Yeah.
Emotionally disturbed.
Yes. Professionally incompetent. So obviously not. I mean, he's a successful MD. He's at least got a professional doctor thing going for him, which is more than he could say for Clark or Bolin, but
when I think of professionally incompetent, I think of like Chevy Chase playing Gerald Ford on SNL. Yeah. Like his professional job was to be incompetent.
Yeah.
That's what I think of when I think of professional incompetence.
Right. So, intellectually dishonest and a dishonest journalist or other things. I mean, couldn't you have just saved time by writing intellectually dishonest journalist? I mean, come on, quit wasting our time here, Bolin. You fucking bitch.
No. He's an intellectually dishonest journalist. It's different. It's not just a dishonest journalist.
That's true. That is true.
When he's reporting on whatever, he lies to his editor about how many push-ups he can do, all sorts of weird stuff.
So I'll continue with the list here. Sleazy. This is a technical term people use in the court of law often.
Yeah, sleazy.
It's just
gross.
Unethical, which is projection. Quack. Bolin just went full projection on this one. Nicely done, sir. Did you label your libel suit Quackwatch as well?
Oh. Who watches the quacks? Watchers.
Here's a good one here. A thug. I mean, we all know MDs truly live the thug life, and I just, in fact, imagine if Barrett were to lift up his, blue scrubs, he'd probably see a tattoo arching letters that's over his belly button that says thug life.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, yeah. Bully. Hashtag be best. Come on, Barrett. A Nazi. Boom! Saving the best for last here. He called him a Nazi.
Man, a Nazi. Capital N Nazi, too.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, exactly. Capital N. So a hired gun for vested interest. Little known fact about Stephen Barrett, MD, is not just a hired gun, but the fastest hired gun in the West. So he's not cheap if you're looking to shoot up some vested interests. That's good. A leader of a subversive organization. Hey, now this one is hitting a little too close to home for us here at None Dare Called Ordinary. We do all the research here for the subversive organization. So that's it's a lot of it comes from this, so that's not good.
I'd like to think of ourselves as a subversive organization.
Yeah, that's true. It's got a little that's ring to it. And engaged in criminal activities such as conspiracy, extortion, filing a false police report, and other unspecified acts. So obviously not true, but whatever.
Yeah, that's not right at all.
Yeah, that's fine. So another MD by the name of Terry Polvoy, who is a Canadian pediatrician that operates several anti-quackery websites, was attacked by Bolin as well.
Oh, that's good. You got to cover your bases.
In other words, he's just an awesome human being, probably. Yeah. So anyway, he was described as, quote, dishonest, okay, starting off with some softcore name calling. And we'll go through these again. Close-minded, emotionally disturbed, professionally incompetent, unethical, a quack. Okay. Can you just at least not copy and paste the slander? I mean, come on. We've already covered these. Quit being lazy, Bolin. All right, so what else? A frantic. Oh, my. I would have written a pedantic frantic personally. Just to get a little more pizzazz in your...
Yeah.
Why not? And here it is. Uppercase, a Nazi.
Oh.
Okay.
God, again, another Nazi.
When you call all the people that are against your quackery Nazis, it starts to lose its desired punch.
Yeah, why not, a commie, a
mix it up a little.
monarchist.
Yeah, exactly.
Fascist, a autocrat. There's so many words.
Exactly. A hired gun for vested interests. So it's like interest wearing vests? Okay, that was bad. But I'll say it. I mean, if we're going to go with the cowboy theme here, right? Hey, Bolo, come on. And engaged in criminal activity, such as conspiracy, stalking of females.
Oh, that's
okay,
new.
That one's a new one. Yeah, he stalks females, apparently. Okay. And other specified acts. Can you maybe specify them, please? Because this is some court going on here.
Yeah, you can't just...
Could you just... what?
Your Honor, we charge the accused with unspecified acts.
Guilty,
definitely.
As charged.
I think we've all committed unspecified acts.
Oh, yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I'm guilty of it, for sure. So, as well as making anti-Semitic remarks. I mean, shouldn't that have just been covered under the Nazi thing? Come on.
After, you've read all these... the work of this PR firm. I hope they didn't pay this guy too much. It seems like...
I know.
This is virtually the same exact attack. It's like he's just got an attack form. And there's like a couple boxes, and he checks off most of the boxes, and then maybe changes them up a little bit. This seems should not be getting paid very much for these activities.
So as Dylan mentioned earlier, Bolin even attacked Esther's attorney, Christopher Grell, as someone who was professionally incompetent and had filed a false report with the FBI. It sounds like a false flag operation.
Yeah, also sounds like all the same insults. He's already, thrown at all the two other guys.
So many of these messages were republished, often with embellishment, on various websites like newsgroup postings and other emails by other Clark allies and defenders.
Yeah, I found a bunch of those, actually, while researching this.
And Jeffrey Clark also set up a defense fund, which was to pay for the costs associated with defending Clark against legal attacks. What a horrible victim from Big Medicine. Just horrible.
She has no money because she charged nothing for her. Oh, wait a minute. No, she charged a bunch of money for it. Oh, that's okay.
Great. These expenses included such things as publicists, expert witness, attorney fees, court costs, and appeals. Jeffrey administered this money without compensation. I mean, I couldn't find the details.
I don't get why this costs money.
Yeah.
Because here, I can be the publicist for Hulda Clark.
Yeah.
Dylan Darty, claim that insert name here is professionally incompetent, a Nazi, emotionally disturbed, may or may not have stalked females. It's all just the same stuff. It's the same stuff.
It's true. I couldn't find the details, but I wonder how many of these innocent people were conned by Clark, jumped at this opportunity to give him money to fight off these legal attacks. If that is the case, then not only did Clark scam these poor sick people, offering them a huge bunch of bullshit, but she also played their heartstrings to get them to defend him financially against this evil men of actual science and medicine.
Men of actual science.
Yeah, they're just horrible people. So, okay, let's get some specifics of the report here. I'm going to, again, write all these down. There will be a test.
Oh, there will be.
Yeah, there will be again.
A 3,200 questionnaire is coming up.
So the report stated that by May 31st, 2000, $113,430 was raised for the fund with an earned interest of $667, something like that, $666. Oh boy. Spending around $27,900 for the legal expenses and something around $328 for counting and copies. I'm reading off this list here. $56,408 for public relations. Was it $714 for Hulda Clark's travels? However, sorry to disappoint our listeners, but they did not indicate how much the public relations payment actually was in specifics that went to the Bolins. So just pencil in a question mark for that one.
Yeah, who cares? Yeah, some such money. Again, some such
money. The information was published on the New Century Press website, which is a website Clark owned and operated, used to use this website also to sell her books. I mean, I actually did go to this website, at least I think it was the website. There's a publication an issue of a publication that's titled The Extra Skin Cancer Prevention. And strangely enough, the cover of this issue has a woman missing her nose. I'm just kidding. It doesn't have that. Just her teeth. She doesn't have teeth. I'm sure. That's very, very happy looking woman, actually. So.
Oh, that's nice. She's happy.
Yeah, so she's nice and happy.
She's preventing skin cancer. And, if she gets skin cancer, who cares? We have the cure for all cancers.
That's true. So, good news, though. Stephen Barrett, MD of Quackwatch site, and several others also filed a libel suit against Bolin and others who spread this false information about them. So, fire with fire. I like it.
Yeah, Stephen Barrett, I actually sent him an email, and he told me that Bolin was professionally incompetent, a Nazi, emotionally disturbed, bizarre. He said he is very
he's using that
bizarre.
Standard, he's using a standard form.
Yeah,
probably.
I think they're all using the same form. That's the problem. So after all the late 90s legal trouble and all this libel nonsense, the 21st century came along and Clark is still not doing so good in the legal department. In February of 2001, Mexican authorities inspected Century Nutrition in Tijuana and ordered it shut down because you don't mess with Mexico.
Yeah, mess with Texas. I mean, at least with Ted Cruz. Please vote. Please vote against that creature. But this isn't a Ted Cruz podcast, so.
Everyone knows he's the Zodiac.
Yeah.
You gotta get down. You can't.
You know what his father did.
Didn't his father kill JFK?
It's pretty much fact.
It's pretty much fact. Ted Cruz is the Zodiac.
I mean, facts don't matter anymore, but that's
facts don't matter anymore. Ted Cruz is also an iguana. Ted Cruz
that's true.
Is actually a triangle. I can say anything I want.
It's your truth, Dylan. It's your truth.
It's my truth. It's true for me. You might like his politics, but do you really want a trilateral commission? He's a triangle. Start connecting the dots here, people.
It's three of them.
So the crucial problem with Century Nutrition was that it was never registered with the Mexican government and it operated without a license.
Oh, well.
So despite what these cranks may believe, not even Mexico is a haven of medical freedom. These Mexican tyrants think only non-idiots should be running hospitals. God, what a bunch of snobs.
Give me medical freedom.
Yeah, that's what we need. Who was that? Oh, God, who was the former Pennsylvania senator who ran for president? Oh, what's his name? He said he made fun of Santorum, Rick Santorum.
Yeah, he's still around somehow, but he's not.
And there was that quote of him saying, Obama thinks everyone should go to college, and he called him a snob. Because
what snob?
What a snob. He would think Mexico is just full of snobs thinking, all these college-educated people should be in charge of medicine. Jeez. Disgusting. So they did allow the clinic to reopen, but only if they practiced real medicine and if they paid a 160 peso fine, about $18,000.
Oh, okay.
I wish Mexico had more faith in its doctors.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish everybody did. Like the Norwegians. The Norwegians had faith in their doctors. They weren't going to let that Hammer guy practice his goofy stuff. Plenty of Mexican doctors, they have to pick up the slack for these losers, rather than letting them stay open. Just they can do it. I have faith in them.
Hey, some, I assume, are good doctors.
Yeah, some. Many.
Some.
All right, some.
No, all.
They also got in trouble with the FTC a few times. The FTC, they had something against Clark and the goons who peddled her nonsense, starting with their 2001 case against Marvin and Miguelina Beckwith. They owned and operated a site called cancercure.com, so no subtlety there.
I'm actually sort of surprised that domain name wasn't already taken with all these endless cancer con men out there, actually.
Yeah, they were the only let's get to the source, cancer cure.
Yeah, all cancers will be
that's
cured.
what we're offering.
Yeah.
So these idiots sold a lot of the products and devices we've already talked about. They sold the zappers.
Obviously.
They sold the tinctures modeled on Clark's brilliant ideas. They had a black walnut, clover, and wormwood tinctures. And to think, when I read this, they could have just opened a bar called Wormwood, Walnut, and Clover and made a legitimate mint.
Yeah, yum. Yeah,
people love mixology and all that goofy stuff. So the Beckwiths claim that these devices and potions, I'm going to use Brent's word potion, they cured cancer, Alzheimer's, AIDS, and diabetes, making surgery and chemo unnecessary.
Of course.
So the FTC, they got 3 doctors of their own to break all this shit down. And so I just want to offer some choice quotes from these 3 doctors.
Nice.
First, we have Aaron Primack, MD. Clark's books do not provide competent and reliable evidence for any of this shit. Any of this shit, that is a paraphrase. I will, for editorial honesty here. I don't want to be an intellectually dishonest journalist here. Then we have Peter W. Pappas, Ph.D. Clark's case histories represent an egregious example of a highly biased experimental protocol, and her theories are based on bad science. She clearly does not have a basic understanding of the most fundamental parasitological principles. Not good. And then we have Joseph Pizzorno, an ND. Remember, that's the naturopath doctorate. And he says, no research is presented demonstrating that the zapper has any physiological effects, let alone ability to kill parasites or cure cancer. The claim that mild electrical shocks to the skin can eliminate intestinal parasites is, frankly, preposterous. So even the naturopath knows this is bullshit.
Yeah, listen, guys, never zap. Always enema if you want to cure cancer.
Yeah, he knows the enema. You get your shark fin.
Right.
You get your
mistletoe.
You get your mistletoe.
That's right.
Exactly. Jinx. So their case was settled in December of 2001, with the Beckwiths agreeing to knock it off with the whole Unsubstantiated Claims Act.
Good, yeah, rule law. Good.
Yeah, I love it when we're a society of laws. It's a good thing. But the FTC wasn't done. In January of 2003, the FTC went after the Dr. Clark Association, and let me prepare for this one.
I can't wait to hear you pronounce it.
Behandlungszentrum, GmbH.
That was perfect.
Yeah, I'm going to assume it's perfect too. It's at least, I think I could pretend.
Yeah.
I think I could con someone into thinking I pronounced that perfectly. That's a Swiss company, and David Amrine, the director of both. So what was the FTC's problem? Well, it's the fact that these quacks made false claims about the effectiveness of super zappers, synchrometers, and Clark's 21-day program for advanced cancers.
Was there like a week-long program for mild cancer?
Yeah, I think so. That's about a week.
It's a mini cancer cure.
5 to 7 days. That's all you need.
Okay.
The case was settled in November of 2004, when these idiots agreed to stop making the following claims. Namely that, well, the super zapper could cure cancer, the synchrometer could figure out if you had cancer, and, eating a bunch of spice cake was going to cure your cancer. Amazingly, none of that is true, and the FTC wanted them to stop saying it. Again, we live in a tyranny.
Yeah.
And, I think, people are making lots of claims about tyranny lately, but I think they're missing the crucial bit. You can't make false claims about zappers.
Yeah.
I think that's the real problem.
So, what happened to Clark? Well, she died of cancer in 2009.
Good.
Yep. So despite the horrors of each of these quack artists and their poor victims who are swindled out of their hard-earned money and offered treatment that doesn't help at all or often prevents them from getting actual medical treatment that works, they do end sometimes with a happy ending. The quack artist dies. Yeah, so Hulda Clark died on September 3rd, 2009 of complications of multiple melanoma. Yay.
So yeah, it turns out that Clark said she had the cure for all cancers, but it turns out that the cancer is the cure for all Clarks.
Oh,
so she should have just flipped that around and she would have, said something true.
There you go. So melanoma is a form of lymphoma where plasma cells become overabundant in the patient's bone marrow.
So I guess you could say they got a bone fluke, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Like to play that bone fluke. Get it? Get it?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm an adult.
So, with the increase, this is more about what melanoma is. With the increase of volume of the bone marrow, they destroy the surrounding bone. This releases large volumes of calcium into the bloodstream. This also suppresses the formation of other valuable blood cells, which causes severe anemia. And diagnosing melanoma is easy through x-rays because the affected bones have visible holes in them. Melanoma is fatal when it produces anemia and hypercalcemia, decreases resistance to infection, and or multiple other problems. So there is no cure currently available, though most people can benefit from treatment. But it's not worth the science fair. It's not a worthless science fair device or an herb-based treatment. So who really knows what big medicine is doing to you? Come on, guys.
Yeah, God, who knows?
We're legit here. Recently, drugs have been developed to significantly increase a patient's survival time burdened with melanoma.
So I made that bone fluke joke, and it was childish. But in all seriousness, you didn't mention a bone fluke once in your explanation about this cancer, so I'm a little concerned. I don't think we have the full story here.
That's right. Yep. So Clark's supporters claim that Clark died due to complications from a spinal cord injury. However, a few weeks later, the Dr. Clark Information Center website stated that she had multiple melanoma. Hey, so I'm like, honestly, I like it. That's good. Some honesty finally. But
I would have accepted a spinal cord injury as an explanation for her entire career. I mean, that would make sense.
That would have been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
So the site states that Clark's symptoms began with arm pain due to deterioration of neck vertebra, but she was, quote, unable to use her synchrometer techniques to investigate because her hands and arms did not work well enough. Hello? Did she not have a fellow scam artist buddy around? Help a sister out here. Zap me.
Yeah, no, only I am qualified. I must do it myself.
For a second, I thought I was listening to the Germaniac there. But anyway.
Nine. You was a Nazi.
Lowercase. So the blood tests showed that Clark was anemic, and she, quote, saw that she had reduced kidney function, but her health deterioration was a mystery. Come on, you can zap your way out of this. Just keep zapping. So after living with severe hip pain for several months, she underwent hip replacement surgery, but continued to have pain for more than 6 months before finding medication that could control the pain. So the problem is that she succumbed to the tyranny of conventional medical establishment here. Surgery, pain medication? Seriously, what a sellout.
Yeah, especially because I thought pain was supposed to be an indication that the Clark regimen was working.
Right.
It's almost as if she was completely full of shit.
Almost.
Yeah. Let's calm down with the accusations.
So later she was scheduled for neck surgery, but reoperative blood tests found that hypercalcemia and further evaluation led to the diagnosis of multiple melanoma.
I guess multiple myeloma is a real pain in the neck. Oh! That must also be the cancer that Great Neck New York got.
Yes, I was thinking of that when I was looking at this. Oh, great. So the website makes further comments that Clark suffered more than she should have because she wanted to solve her problems herself, even in the face of her severe physical limitations. What a brave quackery warrior till the end.
Yeah, till the end. But, she had no problem with others not solving their cancer problems.
Right. That's
by themselves for a fee, especially. Maybe I think that was the real issue.
I think so, yeah.
I can't charge it. I can't charge myself. She had to do it herself. It's very complicated, very bizarre.
So the site goes on to say, perhaps if she had known what to look for earlier, she could have better helped herself. But it was too late. In her last few months, Dr. Clark was physically unable to function well. But see, Clark's problem was she didn't fully commit to her treatment. See, sure, she had tried to use the synchrometer, but couldn't because apparently she was out of friends around her after scamming them all. But did she try watching the VHS tapes? Or what about the book included in the package? What about the 24 vials? Did she do these? Did she down these? I don't know. Oh my god, I almost forgot about the 5 boxes of microscope slides, though. Did she look at these? You have to always look at each of these slides while being zapped with the 2 zappers. Come on, lady, practice what you preach. Then you would have your disease.
She just wasn't committed to the cure. It's a real shame. She really just didn't believe in it.
I know. So basically, Clark likely died sooner than she had to because she didn't seek medical treatment for her melanoma. So she quacked herself. The end. So, I don't know. Personally, I just want to say in conclusion, fuck cancer. Literally, it can go fuck itself. I hope we eradicate it from this planet, forever, someday. But also, fuck these assholes that pounce on the vulnerable and peddle quackery when there is competent, medically trained health professionals that can offer you actual solutions and treatments for your disease.
And they are available in every country.
Here.
Every country.
They are, even Mexico.
Even Mexico and the Caribbean.
That's right. Yes.
There are professional medical professionals, who want to help you. And, as, we can look at, my sister-in-law, she's doing great because of, she did the trifecta, the surgery, the radiation, the chemo.
Yep.
It can help you and it can cure people. Yeah. And with that, we're finally done. We're done with cancer. Oh,
yeah.
Lordy be.
I'm sick of
so much cancer. Oh.
So much cancer fakery.
So what, reflecting back, Brent, what have you learned?
Oh, God. Going through all the fins and the teeth, removing your face, missing noses, Christmas bushes, and the Hanukkah water, and dear God,
there's a lot.
Missed anything?
There's
a lot there.
I'm trying to think. So we've got the clover, lots of clover.
Yeah.
The blood root.
Crimson and clover. That's right, blood root.
The Cansema stuff. We've got the magnets.
Good times.
Magnets
are
part of it.
They work.
Yeah, the all-meat vegetarian diets.
Mm-hmm. Looking at her hair. Remember, don't forget to look at the woman's hair.
You got to look at the hair. You got to fill out the questionnaire. Get the computer to tell you.
Blend the Zohar.
The Zohar. That's right. There is a lot of different ideas about how to cure cancer.
Good times.
A lot of different and equally false ideas about how to cure cancer. It's quite amazing. It's quite breathtaking.
It is.
The scope of it all.
What about you? Did you learn anything?
Did I learn anything? I learned that there are a lot of useless assholes in this world who, it's if they were in that movie, It's a Wonderful Life,
right.
And, they said, I want to see what my life is, if I had never been born, it would be better. The world would be better if these people never existed.
Yes. So true. So true.
Yeah. But then they would probably be spiteful and want to come back later. Like there was that one, I don't know if you've seen it. There was a Married with Children spoof of It's a Wonderful Life. Did you ever see that?
Mm-mm.
Where Sam Kinison was actually the angel.
Oh.
And he shows Al Bundy like what his life would be like, what the life of his like family and friends would be like if he was never born, and it was great. Like his wife's doing great, and so the angel's like, man, I failed, But then Al's like, no, I want to live out of spite.
Right.
Because I want these assholes to have a terrible life. And that's what I think, if all these cancer quacks, I think they would be more Al Bundys than your George Baileys, if I had to make a guess.
Yep.
Well, that's all we got. Next week, we'll have something totally different. Yeah. We got the religion covered. We've got medicine covered. And next week, we're going to get a little political. Oh, yeah. We're going to keep it a surprise for... And, if you want to get in touch with us, we have an Instagram account, @NoneDareCallItOrdinary. You can also send us an email if we've said any false or said anything true. And that would be nonedarecallitordinary@gmail.com. And with that, we will end.